not only goals, we had many benefits. Our platforms target to complement, not to replace efforts to reduce carbon. We support and reward initiatives to build carbon-free energy capacities to targeting carbon reductions. We ensure that monetized carbon sinks and counted ones. The platform of the marketplace of the universe, whatever you want to talk of Valgrind, is so easy, not only for the missions of the active projects, it's all for the guys to need the compassions. We had a great team to work in here. We had a great support about techniques, and we take all the possibility to have an excellent link for all to tag many active projects and many possibility to the conventions and have a link transparent in simplicity and only to take a tool. So that we need, and think that Valgrind is the universe, an excellent marketplace. I think that one is the best in the world now at this moment to take possibility to have the link to emissions and compensations. Thank you very much for all. Thank you, Igor. And we are here to help you and all the planet. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Leonardo, for your very interesting, impactful presentation. Yes, I know that Ms. Strelnikova is working on this field and has very interesting projects because she represents a very significant fund from Luxembourg. But let Lada speak about it. Please, Lada, you're welcome.
Thank you, Igor. Thank you, Leonardo. Perhaps I could link a little bit why this topic has been chosen for this forum, because the forum is actually more about renewable energy equipment. And I mean, there are three areas, as Leonardo say. You could talk about the hardware itself. That means equipment that we need for energy transition. That means producing of batteries, producing of electrolyzers, and producing of wind turbines and things like this, which are, I mean, they are obvious things that we need to do, and they are obvious challenges that are connected to the producing the equipment, right? So why we thought, okay, the digital solution, why we have decided to focus on the digital solution, because I think it's one of the main drivers also in the energy transition that everybody's going to look at. And in the area of innovative developments, this is another point which was mentioned by Leonardo. How do we develop this renewable energy equipment that it becomes more efficient? So this is the three topics that we have identified for this area, and let me link to the field that I'm working at, because we're not working on renewable energy or financing renewable energy equipment. The fund is based on the idea to invest into the project that reduce emissions. And that's how we come together with Valgrind. Valgrind says, okay, you will reduce emissions, but then I can help you to monetize the emissions that you are not doing or you are trying to avoid, because the projects that we're doing under the European Energy Efficiency Fund are actually to avoid emissions. And avoiding these emissions year for year, then we could say, if we monetize the savings and have a tool or have a digital solution, I would say, to monetize the savings, then we could actually do more of that kind of projects, right? Because whatever we receive as a payment for the CO2 savings that we are doing every year, we could use to invest into the new project in the European environment. So this is, I just wanted to put it in the context and connect it together, Igor. Back to you.
Yes, Lada, thank you very much. Just a short notice for all our participants. You have now the possibility to put your questions in the public chat that you see here in the right corner, in the left corner, sorry, on your screens, left corner above, you see public chat. I will be very thankful if you put there your questions or informations for our distinguished speakers and panelists. I know that we have also Mr. Thomas Schied. Thomas, I hope you can hear us now. Not yet, and maybe, yes, we have Mr. Arseny Tarasov.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, Thomas.
Okay.
Thomas, our subject today is really very, very important now for Europe and for the whole world. Yes, the development of promising trends in the energy sector, in the sector of renewable energy equipment, is related both to design and technological innovations, I think, directly to energy equipment and components, or to digitalization or energy efficient integration and solutions. Yes, to overcome this intermittency of renewable energy production. That's why we know you are very well known. Let me introduce you. You are well-known industrial energy expert in Germany, and our partner of European Technology Chamber. And very, very interesting your opinion. We have today very many people registered, more than 200. And all our participants, they will get feedback, a summary of our webinar. That's why your opinion for our discussion today is very, very important for us. Thank you in advance, Thomas.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Yeah, so as I understood, it's about really the equipment, so the technology or what is needed to get the renewable energy more efficient, or to increase the usage of it, and to increase as well investments into it. And yeah, at least from a European perspective, on the technology side, I would say that the technology part is really let's say the lack we still have is on the smartness side. So really the software angle, I would say, so to get the supply demand response really working efficiently, and as well on a greater level. So meaning that for instance, the distribution grid operator needs heavily to be updated on a IT side to really be able to use the distributed renewable energy in the most efficient way. And another part on the technology side, more, let's say, into the hardware, would be really, from my side, one issue, which is to be used also in the wind energy, but as well in the usage and steering of PV and other applications, is really on the side of the microsystems, so on the side of gate drivers, where we could in addition increase really the efficiency of the applications, as I named it, so windmills, PV, and as well on the side of the batteries and battery storages. And yeah, that's only two parts when it comes to the equipment needed or used in this field, and there are potentially many more, but these are maybe two I see that there is urgently something to be done, and where we need further progress.
Thomas, but what main trends, in your opinion, are now the most actual in this equipment sector of renewables? Yes, because of paramount importance, in my opinion, is the development of solar and wind energy equipment. Yes, which provides the largest capacities in the world and in the EU among all energy sources. Is it so, or so solar and wind are the leaders here, and because we can get the most energy from these sources?
Yeah, overall, you're perfectly right. These are the two major contributors. I mean, there are others where we have as well not the same status of developments and the same experiences, and there are as well some doubts on side of the society when it comes to security issues. Would be the geothermal part, where we could use the geothermal energy in a broader sense. That would be a further component, and there is a certain trend globally, definitely. In Europe, as very often, or especially in Germany, we always have the doubts on problems associated with new technology, and there have been a lot of discussions if geothermal uses onshore in deeper areas could cause something like earthquakes or whatsoever. So this is difficult, but there would be still quite some potential, and as well supporting on the heating side. But as you said, the major parts and where we have a common sense that this is, so to speak, the good technology is definitely on PV and wind. But there's as well a huge potential, as I described before. In addition, there would be a quite good potential as well if we use the industrial heat, which is coming to industrial processes and productions, but by far not to the same extent that what we can expect from wind and PV.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Thomas. So I have some questions, but maybe for further discussion. Again, Mr. Tarasov, can you hear us now? Unfortunately, not yet, but then I have another question for Leonardo, maybe. Leonardo, what is, so you are in Latin America, and as you know, we have a LATAM Alliance. We have many companies who are acting on this field. What are the main trends now in Latin America, and how we could build this cooperation between Argentina, for example, and European companies?
I think that in Latin American area, we had a great potential present and future in 3 countries. For example, in different sites. For example, we had a great opportunity in Brazil, in Argentina, in Uruguay, and then for Colombia, Ecuador, and many different companies in this part of the region. So we in segments like energy, we have all the companies need to compensation about the emissions. So in all the vision and mission of the company, we need to have the companies, and I think that Valgrind is an excellent support for us also.
But solar and wind, or combinations of these hybrid complexes using solar and wind energy, is considered very promising now in Europe. Combinations, yes?
Yeah.
The same is in Latin America, I think, or not?
Yeah. So we need all the link for all this part of the world to introduce all the European and new market there also.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wait, okay. Yes. Just a second. I will. Yes, Mr. Pira, you can hear us. You wanted to participate in our discussion. In several seconds will join us Mr. Alexander Pira from Fraunhofer Institute in Chemnitz in Germany. He is joining, but maybe Arseny, you are our partner also. Thank you for being speaker in our events, and maybe you can share ideas and your opinions on today's topic. Thank you in advance, Arseny.
Thank you, Igor. And I would also like to thank the other panelists for sharing their views and ideas and experiences. I'm really excited to be here because for me, we're going through a very interesting project, the Gran Canary Islands. And this is a project that is supported by Climate Kick and the European Union, and about energy efficiency for public buildings in Gran Canaria. Right, so there is a combination of implementation of new renewable energy, which is photovoltaic batteries, as well as the equipment that we supply that basically has to understand what's happening in terms of energy consumption in the buildings, in terms of understanding what are the peaks, what are the inefficiencies in the energy consumption, and how the renewable energy can be in the most efficient way, so that it can be, it can be utilized to the most efficiency in those buildings. And what we observed is basically when you implement a new technology like those panels or batteries, it's critical to understand the current state of how energy is consumed in the buildings. And when we implemented our technology and our platform, we have analyzed all the different consumers of energy, what are the peaks of consumption, what are potential inefficiencies, where the maintenance teams sometimes forgets to turn off energy equipment and systems. So that all leads to, first of all, pretty good understanding of how much renewable equipment we need on site, right? Because sometimes the demand is too high. It's not necessary to supply so much equipment. And therefore, we provide information on what is really required and how to optimize the energy consumption during the day. So this is the first very important thing. Second very important thing is once this equipment is implemented, it's critical to understand that it has the best use and the most efficient use, right? And the basic automation that is normally installed in buildings, it gives some really simple rules for following the energy efficiency trends. But when it comes to really combining energy from the grid, energy from solar panels and other devices, it's critical to put more kind of intellect into this, right? And analyze and see what's really going on with energy supply and consumption from users and to different consumers. So we will have our seminar actually on Monday to share the results of this project. So, if those who are interested to join this, please don't hesitate to connect on LinkedIn, and then you can get an invitation to this seminar. Again, it's a really big initiative with the Climate Kick, and it's supported also by Europe. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Arseny. Arseny, your program can be implemented also in other EU countries, or also in developing countries. What is your now what is your perspective, your further plans, how to act in this field? Because I think it is very promising idea.
So currently we're present in EU and Middle East, and we're looking for the ways how we can expand our presence, obviously, in Latin America and in North America. So, I mean, the technology would work anywhere, right? And it's based on the cloud technology and industrial IoT systems, as well as big data analysis. So we would be very happy to find a partner or a reference project in any country where there is a real need for deep understanding and analytics of energy consumption within the buildings, not just at the level of the grid, but really within the buildings where the most efficiencies are possible to achieve. Because very often we say, okay, here is the building, it's done, and nothing else we can do about it, right? But systems like ours, you know, really allow to change the habits and the behavior of people who consume energy, right? And that's to, you know, raise awareness in the public and also give the tools and take actions based on that.
Yes, Arseny, okay, I understand. Yes, you know, we will speak about it just detailed. But what I would back to renewables, yes, I have mentioned a creation of hybrid complexes using solar and wind energy, yes, and I said it is a promising, many promising technologies in solar energy innovations are developing, for example, in the field of photovoltaics, including use of structures and materials that multiply the energy conversion.
Right.
In wind energy, the main prospect is the development of efficient generators and turbines, aerodynamic structures and production technologies, plate materials, increased strength of wear resistance. And work is in progress now to create a wind farm in the form of a table turbine. But I think the main idea that I would to discuss now, the renewables and renewables equipment are very, very important now. But it is not, I think, it would be not possible to jump to the renewables for 1 or 2 years, yes, because it needs time to develop it. I think that I don't know if you agree with me, but I think these promising trends, they should be developed, but not with the idea that it is possible to jump to renewables in 1 year. Thomas, what do you think about it? I think it is. We have also Thomas Riga who wanted to speak on this subject. Thomas, you can hear us. Sorry for this short break. Then I would address Thomas Schied. What is now the main idea in this developing of these technologies, renewables, in your opinion?
As you said, I mean, there's a lot of development going on, and as you said, it's not that it can be done from today to tomorrow, but the urgent or the issue behind this, not only on the technology side, but that it can be implemented, so to speak, in time when we want to reach our net zero goals and our goals in 2030. We need to promote this development, that's for sure, but we need as well to see that the framework around it is sufficiently developed, which is not only a technology issue, but as well an issue, at least throughout Europe, on the regulatory side as well, and on the finance side as well, that the money needed for the development is allocated most efficiently, but there maybe Lada can as well add to this, but these are two other issues which are not only which are not really related to the equipment as such, but which are necessary as well to get everything, so to speak, in time stick together, because we cannot push technology as we want to, or development as we want to have it, as you said, tomorrow, everything up and ready and running. And we need as well, which is especially in Germany an issue is as well, to have the manpower out in the field, let's say, to really install all the installations and have the people there, enough people, enough companies which can do all the installations. So it's not only of the development of the technology and the financing and buying it, but you need as well the companies to install. And we see in the PV sector, when it comes to the smaller units on the housing sector, so the home users, that it's difficult to get the craftsmen to really install the installation. So there are, beside of the equipment and technology, many other issues where we have to work on in parallel to be able to get everything up and running in time.
Yes, Thomas, absolutely. Sorry, dear participants, many people are raising hands. They have questions, but we don't have this possibility. Please write your questions in the public chat, and I will read it aloud. Mr. Gebran, please do it. Yes. Also, this I think that Mr. Thomas Riga is already ready to speak. Mr. Riga, can you speak? And Mr. Pira? Okay. Okay. Mr. Pira, Mr. Riga, please let us know if you are able to speak. If you have microphone access, I have unlocked you and gave you possibility to speak, to participate in our discussion. Lada, I have a question to you because I think it will be interesting for all our participants. Yes, maybe you can just I mentioned in my introduction that we are cooperating with many German institutes, for example, German Ministry for International Development or German Ministry for Education, who are providing funding programs for developing for development of energy technologies, including in developing countries like Africa, etc., etc. What programs? Maybe you can just speak just more detailed about it. What programs could be developed with your support? It will be interesting for our participants, I think.
I mean, for the fund was set up 10 years ago, and with objective actually to reduce energy usage and in the public sector. So what Arseny is actually describing is exactly what we need for the public buildings, and also for the public buildings, but including also hospitals and large hospitals and universities. There are various programs. I mean, the issue is that, again, now, and I don't know whether Arseny will agree because we're in the same area, the attention to energy efficiency still remains very low. And this is actually the easiest way is to save energy is not to use it. And we are now focusing on financing, building hydrogen solutions, instead of saying, okay, let's look at the buildings, how we could optimize them. And there are simple solutions, like the one that Arseny is describing is one of them, the climate check. And we're not applying them. And I think it goes to everywhere. It doesn't matter whether you're in Europe, you're in South America, probably in the US, it's even worse. So we have, there are different programs, there are different initiatives going on, but we still not have this focus on energy efficiency, I would say. And this is missing. I mean, there are a couple of funds like ourselves that are struggling to find the links. The EU taxonomy is making the solution, solving the problem more complicated, more complex, definitely, because they are following, they need to follow sort of the guidelines as well, which projects you could select, which projects you can do, and how you have to report on them. And actually, the objective is to reduce the emissions. And in every project needs to deliver CO2 savings. And the CO2 savings then delivered, but then you say you could not do anything with them. So you could not monetize them. And this monetization, getting this all links together, you do the project, you use the funds that are available, you realize the savings, and then trying to monetize in order to play the money again back into the circle, into investing into the new projects. So, and I think this is like the area we all should look at, and also the governmental organization should say from one thing, and also, okay, you need to reduce the emissions. So we're not going to buy the same amount of gas that we have bought, but you need to see how you reduce it. Target increasing, so it means 5, 10, whatever, 15 and 20% per year. So increasing targets, because otherwise it does. I think it will be a very difficult issue. I mean, mainly for Europe, I'm less concerned about. I mean, for Asia as well, because I mean the resources that we are now buying going to Europe are not going to Asia. I'm talking about mainly LNG gas. And this is some of the aspects, and they're all interrelated. No, so you do the climate, you do the savings in the buildings, and you identify the technologies that you could use. And then you finance them, and then you generate savings, and then you need to monetize them to get another finance to flow into the project, into the other new projects.
Yes, I think, Arseny, maybe you agree with me or not, that renewables are developing more in the residential sector now, not in the industry sector. What do you think?
Not really. I mean, we're also discussing another project with water treatment plants, right? And there in the water treatment plants, there is a new initiative that the water should generate energy for treatment, right? So because they bring the used water and then use special bacteria to generate biogas, and then this biogas fuels the water treatment. So it becomes almost as you don't need any extra energy coming from the grid. Well, not fully, but you really take this biogas and then it generates 60% of energy required for water treatment. This is an example of this kind of renewables. But when it comes to office buildings and when it comes to big industrial plants, it's the same thing. I mean, I see more and more wind installed on the business. We see, I think there is a new initiative in France that every car park over a certain number of square meters should have solar panels on top of the roofs, right? So I think it's now happening everywhere, especially with the cost of equipment going down.
I don't know equipment of renewables. Thomas, you are very close connected with industry. Yes, does it work now? What is happening on this field? Use, I mean now development and use of renewables in the industry sector.
Well, First, maybe just to answer or to add, firstly on what Lada said, is really that the energy efficiency issue is as well something which is on my agenda, because I totally agree that we need to do more on the energy efficiency, and this is as well for the industrial sector, but as well the residential sector, because all this needs to go in parallel. Because if we want to become CO2 free, that means, from my perspective, that we even need more electrification overall. So we need more electricity at the very end, because we have to decarbonize as well other use cases as far as possible. So we definitely need more energy efficiency approaches and more focus on it in addition, but we still need to build, so to speak, as much as possible CO2-free electricity production generation. And when it comes to the industrial sector, as you asked for, well, I mean, all big players have definitely this on the agenda, but you have to see that if you have a very energy-intense production process, then you, at least on your own sites, and the same goes with urban areas, you can use, I don't know, your buildings and some other areas like the car park or whatsoever to build on-site PV. This is all nice to have, and if it's economically feasible, the companies definitely do it. But if you have an energy-intense process and production, you will never be able to have on-site sufficient generation of electricity. That means you need to invest into projects. I mean, if you're a very big player like, I don't know, BASF or whatsoever, then you are as well in the position to invest in offshore wind farms and to be able to get the energy from your own production somewhere else, so to speak. You can agree and do some PPAs to buy renewable energy, which is heavily done in the industry sector as well. Yeah, but as I said, at the very end, you will not be able to do it on site in a sufficient way. And beside of the electricity coming then from wind and from PV, you have always to be as well aware that in the industry sector you need as well not only always electricity, but you need to replace somehow input factors like natural gas, which are used in the chemistry sector, not only for electricity. So we need to have as well invest into an hydrogen industry when it comes to the industry sector.
Thank you very much. We have comments. May I read it up, because they are very interesting? Yes. The first comment in the public chat from Andreas Otte: a warm greeting to everyone. In the future, we will have to advance new innovative technologies in order to ensure sufficient energy supply. This also includes renewable, innovative, large-scale power plants that supply energy with a secure supply independently of wind and solar technology and provide a base load with grid stability. The Synod of EU Economics presented an excellent summary in the current white paper Energy Resilience EU on November 10th in Prague. There are also solutions presented in this paper. Aarhus also has solutions for new large-scale renewable power plants. In order to achieve the climate goals, it's essential to break new ground in order to achieve a stable, clean energy supply. Odyssey offers strategic partnerships for companies with sound substance and project acquisition, and also solution for financing structures. Yes, we have many comments here. I believe that I would ask our distinguished speakers to read it. Now maybe you have some comments. Mr. Thomas Rieger, can you speak now? Unfortunately, we cannot hear you. Yes, unfortunately, because Thomas Rieger has experience in building of energy systems in Africa, of creating of programs, yes, but I think other people are, just a second. For example, our partner from Africa who is developing big projects, Mr. Gakwaya. Mr. Gakwaya, you can speak now. Can you? Okay. Mr. Gakwaya wrote power uses on farm in productions, value chains, irrigation storages, and transport of produces products. This actual topic about using of renewables in the agriculture will be discussed next week in our completing webinar. I have put the link for this webinar in our public chat. Please, if it's possible, register there, because we invited Mr. Walter Hefeker, who is developing in Bavaria and in Germany agri-robotics. And it's very interesting also for us, because you know that UTEC is working in several programs, also funding programs, for example, on fisheries, digitalization of fisheries. And we see that many problems with energy, many questions of energy efficiency are very, very actual for fisheries, for agriculture, for example, yes? Leonardo, all these issues, problems, what solutions could you see in Latin America on your experience? And maybe you can just tell us more. We have several minutes about it.
Yeah. We had an answer for Kadwasha about they tell about the power used in farm and in productions in this part of the world, in Latin America, and like Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay. Also, we had a great heavy part of the economy is about the agriculture. For example, in Argentina, more than 50% of the different exports in all many products is agricultural products, primary or value add also. So many companies, we need to take control about the emissions and all have the focus put in there now and for years ago, and all the systems, all the marketplace of the universe to support the companies to take that correct way on the present and all the future also. So it's very important, the point that Titus Kawaja talk about that now, so that we working hard here in not only in private company, also in the link in public and private also, So we started working about the different governments, municipality, province, and all the national government here in all the region also.
But all these subjects, all these solutions, how, for example, I have spoken with a colleague from Argentina who suggested, together with our partner German Biogas Association, to deliver biogas from Argentina to Germany. Is it possible to do that? Because Argentina has very much biogas, and Germany covers only 50% of biogas necessity.
Mm-hmm.
Is it real? are such things realistic in your opinion?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We need more. I think that again, many companies, many, for example, in the agriculture segment about the farmers, we need more training, capacitation, and talking about the possibility to have the certification in Europe. Many companies need that one. So no. So the universal bargaining, we had the support for us for that, and we had many very interesting about that. We had the tools here, to increase in the European market also. So I think that it's an ideal, perfect link, with companies of this part of the region, and then to increase in the European market. So we need both, though, for us.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Igor, the issue, if I might just help you on this one, the issue on producing biogas or biomethane, which is from the agricultural waste, which is actually good, but it must be used then locally. So if you produce biogas and biomethane and from the agricultural waste in Argentina, Brazil, or Uruguay, for example, that are largest, then it needs to be used naturally. I mean, importing gas or biogas or biomethane from South America, where the agricultural industry plays, and from the environmental perspective is an issue, but also from transportation, you need to buy to build certain vehicles which are run on the heavy fuel, I would say, and a part of this thing that European agricultural waste is not used. Our production of biomethane and biogas is extremely low. I think it's the only one European country which is looking at this actively is Denmark. The rest is so. I mean, it's actually easier to produce locally biomethane and use it locally instead of using natural gas in the grid of the Argentina, or, for example, in the grid of Argentina is actually 78% of the natural gas. So we're reducing the emissions there, and we should not use the same discussion that we have on the hydrogen. We'll probably move it to another, as that you compress and then transport it to Europe. And actually, on the way on the transportation, you cause a lot of emissions. And then you need to inject it again into the grid, and that needs to be closeness to the grid. It's a lot of, I would say, logistic issues that we don't need to both produce there, produce locally, use locally. And then for the emissions balance, I think it's a better solution than transporting it over the ocean. Just my humble opinion on this one.
Yes, Lada, thank you very much for your opinion. In the end of our very, very interesting session, because I see so many messages now in the public chat, and not only, they're coming via mail, but now we don't have any possibility to discuss it, maybe next time or in our separate meetings. Many people are raising their hand, and for the next time, please write your questions in the public chat. And we have a small presence for our speakers and panelists. We have a program that we are really planting in Africa, in Senegal, trees. And we would like to present 3 certificates for our speakers and panelists. I will send it via mail after the webinar with a signature of our head of European Technology Chamber, Chairman Florian von Tucher. And it's a climate action program. It's a program what we have spoken about today. Also, we have mentioned emissions and climate issues. but we are doing real things like planting trees. Thank you very much for coming today and for this very, very impactful and useful discussion, completing this year. I will be very thankful if you give me feedback via LinkedIn or via mail or via every phone and every other method of connection. Thank you very much. I wish you a good day and upcoming happy Christmas. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.